Woodward Sports, let's go!
Woodward Sports Network, let's go!
I love that little beat. Shout out to my man DJ Stevie Beats for hooking us up with all our unlicensed beats that we're allowed to play on every single platform. Thank you for that, Stevie. It's the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Good morning to you. It is Thursday. That means Uncle Terry Foster will be here around 9 a.m. We got to talk about Joe Buck drinking on the job today and just a lot of things going on in Metro Detroit. But first, welcome to the show. This is the Morning Woodward Show. My name is Stick. To my right,
what's going on? It's Corey.
And Corey wearing a tie today, too.
Man, well, Uncle T's in town. I see Corey always cleaning up.
Oh, no, man, that's part of my swag. Don't do me like that.
And then to my left, Mr. Joey.
Got a nice black T-shirt on today. Hello.
Looking crispy. And then, of course, on producer cam, the one and only Artemis. Hi, Art.
What's going on?
And then we got Fish in here checking facts and making sure we're all staying on point. And, of course, Adam running around like a chicken with his head cut off. But that's how we do it. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show. Oh, man. I had a fun night last night, and we'll get into what I did a little bit later. But I got to watch the #1 team in the state and two potential Mr. Basketballs go head-to-head at each other. And they met at the rim for a thunderous dunk, and I got that video. I can't wait to talk about it.
That was a great dunk.
Oh, my God, man. It was a great game last night between Orchard Lake St. Mary's and Grand Blanc, the #2 team in the state. But first, let's get into Joey's news.
Good morning, everyone.
Read all about it.
Let's get into Joey's news.
Let's go!
Serena Williams. We could call her one of the GOATs. But yesterday she lost to Naomi Osaka and broke down in tears walking out of the news conference. In this first clip, you see the final play that she ended up losing on. And it's just, you see Serena going down because Fish told us that she was going to win. And I can't take this. I can't.
No, this next girl, I mean, Osaka's the next up, man. She's been that way for about 2 years, so I'm not surprised by this.
Yep, she has won 20 straight now and is advancing to the Australian Open final. And this is the clip that was trending all over Twitter yesterday, was Serena Williams breaking down into tears, walking out of this press conference after being asked about her future.
I wouldn't tell anyone, so.
Last couple questions in the room, please. Yeah, Craig, then.
You're saying about the unforced errors through the match. Considering how well you've played to get to this stage, what do you feel caused that, or was it just one of those bad days at the office?
I don't know. I'm done.
Detroit blew that game. What the heck happened last night, guys? And this is where I messed up. You could blame me. I turned the TV off when we were up by 21 points.
This has kind of been what's been happening with the Pistons all year, though. I mean, we've seen them blown how many double-digit leads, and it's just we always go back to this. They're a young team. They're learning, but they got to learn to – and Casey talked about this after the game. They got to learn to value every single possession.
Oh, most definitely, Billy. Yesterday it was just not their night. Zach LaVine, that third quarter by him was just something to witness. He went the hell off, and it was real tough to watch, but – like we all been saying all year, they're a young team, but at one point they've got to learn how to go ahead and finish games. Blowing a 25-point lead is unacceptable.
Yeah, and wasting Jeremy Grant's 43-point performance too.
Career high night for him, and then we can't even pull it off. End up losing by 3 against the Chicago Bulls, and then we go off to the other Chicago team, the Chicago Blackhawks. The Detroit Red Wings lost to them yet again, 2-0. Yeah.
I mean, what else can you say about the Red Wings this year? They're not winning many hockey games.
No, they aren't. But it's one of those that we just got to still stand by their side because they did say this is the rebuild year, and now we just got to deal with it. But I just wanted to give a little shout out to my people over at Bridge Street Exchange because they're doing something really cool today, guys. It's their winter Facebook Live sale. So this is kind of like 2021 summed up. So you just go to the Bridge Street Exchange Facebook, and it's a fun day of savings. They're just going to be throwing out different savings throughout this Facebook Live. So just go to the Bridge Street Exchange Facebook page, and it's a badass store out in downtown Fenton, and I love them.
All right. Yeah, no, they got dope boots. Now that you've been selling those thorough good boots, like I need a new pair because Woody ate mine. So I may slide out there and pick up a pair of boots.
These might be Woody proof. I think they are.
I don't know, man. That dog eats through everything. Like I left the closet open the other day. All the shoes, I came home last night, all the shoes scattered all over the house. And he doesn't like chew them up. He did my boots, but everything else he just scatters around the house.
How many shoes were missing?
Like 4, 5. It's just crazy to me.
So that's his thing. So Woody got like a foot fetish.
Yeah, he's got a shoe fetish, man. So that's what I walked home to last night, was my shoes being spread out all over the house. But love that little guy. We'll work through it. I got to find like a dog trainer or figure out how to like train a dog not to eat shoes.
Maybe you could maybe you could spray, like, you know how when you have a bad biting your nails habit, you like put the whatever that is on top.
Spray something on my shoes so he won't eat it?
Yeah, so spray something.
I don't know. I just want like the dog whisperer to be like, stop that. You seen that guy? I love that South Park when he treats Cartman like a dog and he's training him. It's one of my favorite South Parks. So we got an interesting show today. Not every topic we talk about is going to be a comfortable topic, and that's just kind of part of our jobs. If something's in the news and it's a big story and it's not something that many of us, it's a very iffy topic to tackle because so many people feel so strongly about this. But if we can have racial topics and racial discussions on this show, and we can discuss other hard topics, I'm not going to shy away from this because it's becoming a bigger and bigger news story. It's been percolating for a little bit. A couple weeks ago during an MMA fight, a transgender female broke the orbital of another female fighter in a match, and it's caused some waves in the MMA. And outside of that, President Biden has he signed over that transgenders should be allowed to play in high school sports. It doesn't matter, male, female, they can play. And now you're having other states passing laws saying that they shouldn't be able to play in sports. You got Utah and like 20 other states hopping on that. So the nation's kind of divided on this specific topic. And I do think that, like, at least from my perspective, I'm all for everybody having equality, everybody getting treated equal, but I also understand that, there's some things that are exceptions to every rule. And I think in sports, that's where, when it becomes a physical confrontation, that's where we can start to maybe carve out some areas to where it's like, okay, this isn't quite fair to the other people participating in this. And I know it's been a topic of discussion, but I really wanted to touch on this because, like I said, it's becoming a bigger and bigger thing, especially in the MMA, where you're getting men competing against, or you're getting people who were born male competing against natural-born females, and it's turning into a kind of a brutal thing going on right now in sports like that. And you see it in track and field. You've seen it in other sports. So I wanted to touch on this. I mean, I don't want to shy away on this, but what do you guys think about this, and what do you think should be the solution to the problem?
I don't really think there is a solution that is going to make either party happy, to be quite honest. Somebody's going to get slighted in this, regardless of how you feel about it. It's either going to be girls and women who were born female, or it's going to be transgender girls and women who identify that way. So in this thing, somebody's going to get slighted. Like I was reading the story that we were all, looking at about the laws that are becoming a bit more invasive. And I do agree that some of the stuff that I was reading, that can be a bit invasive, embarrassing. But at the same time, there has to be something done, because if you were born male and you choose to identify as a girl or as a woman, and you try to play that sport, you have a physical advantage over girls and women who were born female, and that's not fair to them. It's not fair to transgenders to be slighted and not be allowed to participate in certain things, but it's also not fair to the girls and women who were born that way to not be able to physically compete at that level. So it's
It's so delicate.
It
It's
is.
such a weird
It's
topic.
It's a tough topic, and it is weird because it's so new to us right now. But a small example that I have is the Pickens. The Pickens family, always growing up, were held back a year. So when you look at them, and it's kind of a far comparison. It's not really a comparison, but I'm just using this as an example. They were always a year older, and people always looked at them as, oh, well, they have that advantage. They're a year older. So it's kind of similar to where it's like when you look at these advantages that you have in sports, because I'm all for whatever you classify as, you still are a human, and you still should be treated the same as everybody else. But when it comes to these advantages and disadvantages in sports, you have to protect. Depending on whatever the sex change is, you still have to protect the rest in that sport. And that's the biggest thing with this, because just like in sports where you can't be held back a certain amount of years to have that advantage, I don't think you should be able to just change your gender and then have that advantage against others.
Yeah, and that's where it gets interesting because, women have fought so hard for these rights to carve out their own to begin with, right? The WNBA and all these women's sports and, Title IX, it was such a big deal to pass through. And I don't want to say that it's diminishing that, but women were very proud to have their own thing and compete amongst each other. And when you have somebody that can just, transition over, and you're starting to see, like, dominance happening when sometimes this thing happens. I'm not a woman, just like when we talk, I'm not black. I can't speak for you. I can't speak for a woman. But if I was a woman, I would be very uncomfortable with how hard women have fought to get these rights, only to have them, I'm not saying marginalized, but it's just a weird infringement.
It's definitely marginalized. It's being overlooked. It really doesn't have to. It really shouldn't be that much of a divided issue to me. Just being frank. Identify how you identify, but if you're born, you're born how you're born. If you want to choose to identify with a different sex, so be it. But if you're born with a physical disadvantage because you are born male, or it is what it is to me. Yeah. I mean, it's not fair. It's not. I don't feel that your rights. Your rights as a human person should be violated because you choose to identify a certain way. But when you're talking about physical competition, physical advantage because you're born a certain way, and because women and girls are born female, that's not fair to them that you're able to go ahead and infiltrate what's designated for them based off of how you choose to identify.
Yeah, it's interesting because you got MMA fighters like Misha Tate who come out and say she will not fight a transgender fighter. Like, she just won't do it. And, like, you don't want to look at her as a bigot or anything like that in any capacity, because at the end of the day, she is somewhat, like, discriminating, but at the end of the day, she's not discriminating. So this is why it's just a very weird area to operate.
Man and woman is how you're choosing to identify, but male and female is how you're born. It's on your birth certificate. So if she's a woman born, she's born female, and she chooses not to fight a person that is born a male, I don't think there's anything discrimination about it. Just acknowledging the science and the physical advantage. Like, hey, I'm still a female, and this person is still born a male. They have an advantage where physically they could do real harm to me.
So this is weird though, because, like, think about it this way. You do perform that transgender switch, right? And the transformation, and you go from male to female. And I don't think that it's appropriate to fight against males at the females at that point, because I mean, just the bodies are built differently.
Yeah.
But at that point, is it going to be the person that classifies as a now female fighting against males? Because that's where they started. That's where the tough part lies. I think, I mean, the one thing when you go through this transition, I feel like the only way to really do it correctly is understanding that there will be limitations with your decision.
Yeah, and do you know a transgender person, Corey?
No.
Okay. Joey and I actually, when we used to do that.
Take that back. I have worked with some. I don't know them, but I've worked with them.
I have a really good friend who's transgender, and he's one of my favorite people. And I say he because that's what he chooses to be called. And I don't know him any other way, to be honest with you. It's my old intern for when I used to do the night show on a radio station here in Detroit. We have these talks, just like, I'm not afraid to dive in on the racial talks with my, friends of all races. We talk about Arabic, we talk about black, we talk about Lebanese, we talk about trailer with art. Like, we talk about all these things, no matter what you are. I'm not afraid to have these conversations. And sometimes we have these hard conversations, and I don't think there's any malice involved. Like, I do think that, the transgender male to female who wants to compete against female isn't doing this to just beat up on females. Like, I don't think that's their goal, and that's why they made the transition. I do think it's an internal thing that they deal with, and they felt like they were born in the wrong body. And I do think they should have opportunity. I just don't see a solution to giving them an opportunity by saying, you know what, I'm a 6'4" guy right now. If I decided, or my gut or whatever my biology was telling me that I should be a woman, I could beat the hell out of a woman. And I just don't see that being a good thing for anybody, because it doesn't look good on the transgender person. It doesn't look good for women's sports, and it doesn't look good for men either, because we're just, it's just happening. So there really is no winner in this conversation.
There isn't. I don't think that. First off, it's good that we're discussing it, but I just don't think that we'll come to a real solution of it anytime soon. I think there's going to have to be extra measures taken into place. I'm going to be honest, maybe as far as including something else different in these sports, like a
third league or something?
Like a third league, or something like that. The thing is you can't slight. You have to acknowledge that one group does not have the ability to compete in these sports. Transgender, they don't have the ability to compete with certain stuff going on, but at the same time, by them competing, you're also slighting somebody else. So you can't slight one person and then as you're trying to not slight the other person, you're slighting somebody else. It's like somebody's going to get slighted either way it goes. So who's the right way of getting slighted in this?
I don't have that answer, unfortunately. And, society's going to have to come to this solution, and that's another thing, another hurdle that we got to overcome as a group and as a people. And we will figure it out in the long run. And like Joey said, it's not a new problem. Transgender people have been around forever, and it's just become a news thing now because they're competing in MMA. And Art, I know you really didn't want to get involved in this conversation, but since it revolves around MMA and it's become such a hot topic in that sport, what is the vibe in that area? I saw Misha Tate said she wouldn't fight. You see Joe Rogan going absolutely ballistic on this.
Yeah.
What outside of the extreme Joe Rogan, how does UFC and MMA handle this?
It's Joe Rogan talks about it every other day because it is a hot topic, and there is a transgender fighter who's had a dominant career off of, so it's such a touchy subject, and I don't have the answer. I think that what Corey and you brought up is a great idea, make a separate league, so then that way there's somewhere where people who choose to make that decision can go. As far as having men who have turned into women or women who have turned into men fighting their sex that they used to, I don't personally agree with that. I think that you have an advantage. You have testosterone, you have hormones and estrogen. There's all these different scientific and biological advances and everything like that. So it's such a I'm trying to find the right words because I don't want to piss anybody off.
You gotta dance around it.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject. Obviously, if I decide one day I no longer want to be a man and I want to be a woman, that's a decision that I've made. When it comes down to it, it's a personal decision that I've chosen to make, and society shouldn't judge me on a choice that I've made with my own body. The opposite side of that, though, is that there are advantages when you switch genders, but you want to fight, your previous gender.
Right. What was when Fallon Fox, that's the name of the lady who's transgender, after she broke that girl's orbital, Is that what sparked this major thing? But you said she's had like a winning record before this too.
Yeah, the thing is Joe Rogan has this powerful way of getting everyone involved in the conversation. I mean, the dude's got millions of followers. So it was really when he brought it up because she wasn't even fighting in the UFC. She was fighting in like a B league. So it's like, it gets brought up when we have conversations like this. And truth be told, like, we should have conversations like this. And, I'm happy that I'm surrounded by people that aren't going to say, well, they shouldn't be fighting and they shouldn't. Like, no, everyone has rights in this, in America. And look at what's happening in other countries if you're transgender. I mean, it's disgusting, So the fact that we're able to have this conversation is a blessing. I think that eventually, as society progresses and more people make the decision to be transgender, we have to do something. We can't just ignore it.
I mean, not transgender aside, like there's certain times in sports where you just feel off playing the opposite sex. And it doesn't mean anything of, oh, I'm stronger than you. Oh, you're weaker than me. I'm superior to you. It's not that. It's just, when I play basketball,
right?
I'm really contact. Like I treat basketball as a physical sport. And I'll never forget one time a couple years ago when I was playing and there was a girl on the other team and it's like, I can't control my game. I did a drive and I like, she didn't get hurt to where she couldn't. No, this is serious. And it wasn't like, oh, she couldn't get up. She was hurt. But
Joey's taking her to the block every single time.
And it's like those situations. And it's still something that I'm learning today to cope with because sometimes it's just an awkward situation.
Right.
Now when you're put into this, and it's like because sometimes even our old intern, we didn't know that they had the transgender transformation. We had no clue.
No, not
and it was
until
amazing.
he told us.
Yeah,
yeah. Because we were gonna make him take a shirtless pic, because that's what you do with interns on Top 40 Radio. And like he had to call me and be like, "I have boobs. Like I can't take this pic. It's gonna be weird." But I love him to death. He's honestly one of my favorite people in the world. Like the kid is so smart. He's got such a great soul. He's just one of my favorite people. So. He taught me a lot about this transgender thing because honestly, I didn't know much about it. And you guys know me. If I don't know something, I ask questions. Lots of questions till I can figure out or it makes sense to me. And he made a lot of things make sense to me. But this, I don't know if it'll ever make sense letting a biological man step into the ring with a biological female.
It's not even about a rights issue. It's more so of a safety issue than anything.
Right, and just like a common sense issue almost. Like that's kind of what it turns into. But I'm glad we could actually have this conversation. Literally, let's be honest, about 20 minutes before the show, we discussed it like, hey, Joey, are you comfortable talking about this? Corey, are you comfortable talking about this? Art, are you comfortable talking about this? We had mixed bags.
Yeah, I think what it is that we're all afraid of what happens if we have discussions like this because it's such a, not a slippery slope,
cancel
it's a
culture.
fine line. Yeah, and it's just like, when you and I were talking, I was like, listen, like, you have to be careful with, that's why when you asked me the question, like, I'm trying to maneuver my way to not upset anyone because I don't want to upset anyone on this show, but I also want to be able to be in a position to give an opinion without offending people. Like, having a man who switched to a woman or a woman who has switched to a man fighting, like literally fighting, there's an advantage and a disadvantage when men fight and women fight. You could see it in the sport, and that translates to every sport. It's just expressing myself and saying that without offending people.
Yeah, you're fine, though, because that is a solid take, man. You're not like, I don't know how, that's not out of left field. And like you said, we're not up here like, screw these people, you ain't men, you can't fight. Like, that's not what we are. We're all intelligent people up here, and we all see an issue that's going on in our country, and we want to at least evolve it. Like, we're not going to solve this here on this panel, just like we'll never solve any race issue, whether we have the discussion on air or off air. But it's important for other people to hear that people have these conversations without turning into idiots.
I think what it is, too, is like, obviously, we're all from a corporate setting where this isn't talked about.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's so weird that it's like, wow, I'm at a place where I could have these discussions and not get fired, as long as I don't say anything stupid, or out of line, like, which my personal beliefs are, there should be a separate league. There should, because then it's the equal playing field for everyone.
This is really the only way to make it a solution and fair for everybody, because it's not going to be fair to women who were born female if transgender girls and women are able to compete in their sports. It's really it's not a hard discussion to really have if you just take the emotion out of it and just strictly look at facts and science.
Yeah, and hopefully we come to a resolution that makes everybody happy. That's almost impossible to do when there's 3 parties involved. But, you know, this is how it starts. And we have the conversation without pointing fingers, without accusing people of being, you know, mean and trying to take women's rights away, even though in the long run it's dialing back what women have fought so hard to get, which is their own thing, the Title IX, like I brought up. So I'm glad we were able to talk about that this morning. It's something that I think we need to touch on, and we can't dodge hard topics on this show. Otherwise, we're not doing our job, and we're pussies. Like, it's that simple. Like, we got to be able to have these conversations.
A transformed pussy or a original? No, I'm just
oh,
kidding.
my God, Joey. We went through 20 minutes of you not being an idiot.
So close.
20 minutes of you not being
Listen,
an idiot.
if we're having these conversations, we got to be able to take some jokes, okay? But one question I had on this subject, what was the headline that I saw going around about, like, if you transform from a male to a female, that there has to be like some sort of check on, like, the transgender check?
Well, that's the new laws that they're trying to pass in several states. If you're claiming to be a transgender, that you actually have to go through a physiological test where they're going to check your genitalia in high school. And that's where it becomes invasive and very strange. And, you know, that's where just this thing goes off the rails. But that's what they're trying to pass right now in several states. So we'll keep an eye on this. Let's move on from this topic. I think we've all said exactly what we needed to say on it.
Yeah, I'm not with. I don't know if the test is the right way, but I think, like, just to not be so invasive for the short term, just require birth certificates.
Yeah, and we'll see how that works out.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, the thing that's fair to everybody, Grow Green MI, baby. Go to growgreenmi.com. They're fair to everybody because they got the best prices on all your grow needs. A buddy of mine, he has a couple grow houses, and I was able to turn him on to Grow Green MI, and he's already saving a couple $100 a month just by using them, getting their $50 flat rate shipping. He doesn't have to leave in this frigid cold to go get his newts, to go get his soil, to go get his lights and all that stuff. It's all just directly shipped to his house. Very easy, very nice, and he thanks me every day for it. So they are literally the fastest, the easiest. They have great prices. growgreenmi.com. You can go there right now or shoot them a call. The number's right there on your screen, 810-299-2900. And mention that Woodward Sports sent you, and they'll hook you up with a free T-shirt. So hook them up because they're a good local company. So there's a guy on the move in the NFL. His name is J.J. Watt. The Texans released him after he politely asked to be released. They're not releasing Deshaun Watson. They're actually doubling down, saying he's not going anywhere. He's a Texan for life. But now J.J. Watt has a decision, and even though he's not the player that he used to be, whatever team he goes to, he's going to have an impact. And the odds are out on what teams he's going to go to. And I think these are very interesting because, to me, if I'm J.J. Watt, I'm going to the Steelers. Like, it's that simple.
See, no, but because I heard some rumors about his brother, TJ. You're going to say that because of his brothers, right?
Yes.
But I heard some rumors that TJ Watt might not be re-signed on his contract, too.
Okay.
So, yes, that'd be sweet. That'd be the freaking coolest thing ever. I mean, I have 3 older brothers, and I would die to have that opportunity to play with my brothers, but just like the Antacaputos brothers.
Yeah, that would be fun. I mean, and that's why it's weird to me that just wouldn't be a layup for him. But the Steelers have cap issues. You know, they got the Ben Roethlisberger hanging over their head. They don't know what the hell they're going to do with their franchise quarterback who's supposed to make $40 million this year. They talked about restructuring his contract. But even if they restructure it, do you really want Big Ben leading that team again?
No, I think the fake Big Ben, his days are done. As in Pittsburgh, he should be riding off into the sunset, just like Drew Brees should be riding off into the sunset. Like their time is done. Go ahead, and not necessarily saying give the keys over to Dwayne Haskins, but Big Ben is not the answer anymore, and it's been proven. But in regard to Watt, they have to want him. The Steelers have to want him, and I don't see why they wouldn't, especially with who they have right now. I can't pronounce his name all that way, but Tyson Alului, whatever.
Yep.
He's a free agent as well, so that would be a position that, you know, J.J. Watt would be able to come in there and fill up that. Last year, have it right here. Last year, J.J. had 36 tackles and 5 sacks. and Tyson had 17 tackles and 2 sacks. So obviously, even at an advanced age and him having his injury history, J.J. Watt is an instant upgrade in that area. So you never know. He said he wanted to go to a Midwest team. He likes what the Browns has. He's interested in the Packers, which would really scare me if he went there. But I don't know. I actually think the Browns might be a interesting fit for him.
Well, if we look at the odds on where he's going to go, I got the top 6 teams here, and the Rams are coming in at number 6, 16-1 odds. And if he went to the Rams, my God, that would be a scary. Aaron Donald, Aaron Donald and J.J. Watt on the same defensive line. I don't want any part of that if I'm an offensive lineman.
I'm going to be so jealous of Matthew Stafford. Oh, my gosh.
Then you go to the Bucks, Super Bowl champs. They may lose in Ndamukong Suh this year, but they may also retain him. They're 15-2 odds to keep him. That would also be a scary landing spot for J.J. Watt. Then you go to the Bills. 7-1 odds to land him. And he's tweeted out, it's so funny, like Bills fans, you know, when you want someone on your team, you're always going to like over-analyze everything that they do. Like J.J. Watt tweeted out a red heart and a blue heart, and Bills fans were going nuts. Like, oh my God, there's red and blue. Those are our colors. He's coming here. And then J.J. Watt tweeted out, man, free agency is wild. Like, just because every rumor that's passing through, where he's going to go, where he's not going to go.
See, that's what got me, too. I saw the red and blue hearts. I thought he was coming to play for the Detroit Pistons.
I'd take him.
I was like, what?
Put him on the block, baby. Steelers coming in at 11-2 odds to land J.J. Watt. And that's where, if your brothers are there, you got all the money in the world. Go play with your bros, man.
Again, the Steelers should want him, but they have to be, reach out to him and make that happen on their own. I mean, I think that would be ideal for him to play with his brother, him and TJ on the same side of the ball. But like Joey said, you got to see what's going to happen with TJ. JJ may sign there, and then TJ may not.
Right.
That'd be fun. That'd be so hilarious.
And where I don't want to see him go is actually the second overall odds to land him, the Packers. 5-1 odds. I don't want J.J. Watt in the NFC North. Even though he's old J.J. Watt, he's injured J.J. Watt. I don't want to have to deal with that man at all.
It's kind of funny. A lot of guys go to the Steelers. I don't say a lot of guys. A few guys that went to the Steelers and been able to, revive their career. I'm not saying JJ's is dead, but I just remember what Charles Woodson was like before he went to the Packers, and he went there and he changed his career, then became a Defensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl champ, and went on pretty much on a high note.
Yeah, and then we got the Browns. They are favored to land him 4-5 odds. So
that would be actually a great fit.
I hate it, though.
I know I hate it, but it's like the Browns have been on the uprise now, and it's definitely a big need that they have on their defense right there. So that would just be playoff contender to the max.
With them being such a young team, even though those guys have not won, I think J.J. Watt would be the perfect guy that would be in there, come in there instantly, be a locker room leader, and bring credibility to not only to their defense but their team as well.
Yeah, but if his brother's still playing in Pittsburgh and he chooses to go across the division to the rival Browns, to me, I don't understand that move. Like,
hey, man,
one of those guys is going to upset the other for a Super Bowl ring eventually.
Hey, I'm about going to the best place where I have a chance to win a ring if I'm J.J. Watt. That's the only thing that my career is missing is I've done pretty much just everything that I can do from an individual standpoint in the NFL. Now it's time for me to go ahead and get a ring. So if he feels that the Browns are a better chance of him to go get that ring, I'd go there instead of going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have brothers, but if I had brothers, I'd want to play in the NFL with them. Like, I think that would be such an awesome story. And it's not like the Steelers are a bad team. They started out the season 11-0 and then tapered off at the end. But, it's not that they're a bad team.
Hey, I'm pretty sure Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh would love to be on the same coaching staff, but somebody had to get their ass kicked in the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
That was tough, the Harbaugh. Let's take about a 15-second break. We'll be right back to discuss Joe Buck drinking on the job. Like, the stiffest man in the world drinks while he works. We'll talk about that coming up next on the Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. And don't forget, our app dropped yesterday, and you can pick it up in the Apple Store. It's absolutely free. And I'm so happy how many people we had download it yesterday. That was insane.
Honestly, like, I thought we were going to have just a few, but when I saw the numbers at the end of the day, I was like...
Yeah, and this is our very first version of the app. It's going to evolve over time, but this lets you take us and listen to the live stream anywhere that you go without interruption. Please go download it now and give us a 5-star review so Apple thinks we're awesome, and we think you're awesome for downloading it. So thank you, everybody who went out of their way yesterday to put that on their phone. And hopefully now you know that you could just, turn it on at 8 a.m. and the Morning Woodward Show will be on. You turn it on at 11 a.m., Baligian and Bell Show will be on. So it's pretty awesome that this thing's evolving so quickly, and thank you guys for being a part of it. And like I said, how many people downloaded that app yesterday was absolutely insane, over the top. We did not expect it, so thank you guys so much for that. And also thank you to everybody that's watching us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and of course Facebook. And if you got a Twitch, make sure you follow us there. TikTok, we're everywhere, baby. So make sure you're following us. You'll get different content on every little platform. So if you want to see like behind the scenes stuff and weird stuff that we do here, head on over to TikTok and give us a follow there too. So Joe Buck is probably one of my least favorite people to hear talk of all time.
And it's a touchdown.
It could be the baddest play, and it's a touchdown. And I'm like...
Yeah, it's like a Super Bowl winning 90-yard touchdown, and Joe Buck would be like, he's at the 10, he's at the 5, and it's a touchdown, and they just won the Super Bowl. Congratulations to said team. Good job, guys. Joe Buck is just so bland to me. And so when this story came out yesterday, it was reported that he drinks on the job with Troy Aikman. Like,
drinks what?
Multiple cocktails. Beer is what they said. Or cocktails.
Mocktails or cocktails?
while they're calling football games, they have beer in front of them. And Joe Buck kind of spoke on this yesterday. Go ahead, Art, and play back that audio.
I told Troy this. I said, every broadcast partnership has a different feel. Regardless of who is the analyst, Al Michaels always feels like he's leading the broadcast. Tony Romo is the energizer to Nance. You and Aikman are different. You sound like college buddies. You sound like you both have a small glass of bourbon that you sip occasionally during the game, and it's an incredibly comfortable experience for me as a consumer. And I'll ask you what I asked Troy. How long did it take to curate that?
It took longer for Troy and me to get there than it took Smoltz and I to get there. And I'll say this. We have had that glass of bourbon in the booth, although it's not bourbon. It's tequila, splash of Grand Marnier, and grapefruit juice. I went through a couple years where in the first inning of every postseason baseball game, I had the runner go get the biggest beer that the stadium sold. And I had it sitting there, and I would sip it from time to time to remind myself to relax and have fun. I'm just doing a game. And I brought that over to football, but because Troy is a man of finer tastes, beer somehow became tequila, Grand Marnier, and grapefruit juice. We haven't done it in a long time now, but it was good for a stretch. And I feel like it's a good mental trigger to just chill and remind yourself that you're not refueling an F-16 in mid-flight. You're doing a sporting event. And if you treat it like anything other than that, you're doing yourself a disservice.
So that was Joe Buck commentating on the rumor of him drinking on the job. He also went on Twitter yesterday, and he put up a whole thread about, at first it was just one tweet, but then he started explaining himself to people asking him questions, and it says, I don't tweet much anymore, but I feel compelled to send a few about this dumb drinking in the booth story that is complete clickbait. Also, giving it more attention is moronic on my part, but so what? My bosses at Fox have not said a word to me about it. They know we are dedicated and how hard we work and how much we care about every word that comes out of our mouth. Most of all, they trust us. For those 3 hours and through the prep, nothing is more important. My only regret with anything I said on Colin's podcast is mentioning Troy Aikman. Nobody has more integrity or works harder than him, and I am blessed to call him one of my best friends on the planet. We have fun with what we do, and back when I started this trend in baseball and it went back into football, I told him I had a beer in my line of sight as a visual reminder, and I took a sip from time to time to be loose, to remember to enjoy it. I have a tendency to get stressed and try to be perfect, calling a game, as impossible as it may be. As I said with Colin Cowherd, it wasn't to be consumed. It was there more as a visual reminder to the world that it wouldn't, to me, that the world wouldn't end if I made a mistake. It was symbolic to one of many things I would use, like texting with my wife or kids or calling my mom at half just to chill. And he goes on and on and on. Troy had zero to do with it, blah, blah, blah. I'm an open book, all that good stuff. What's up,
Can we
Mark?
get some pot plants in here, please?
What you want?
Can we get weed, like pot plants, all around here?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just asking. I just want to feel comfortable.
Yeah, you want to be grounded, like with a beer in your eyesight. So Joe Buck, this story came out, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, the tightest dude in the world is drinking in the booth." Then obviously he disputes it. I do kind of like his theory on it, though. Like, listen, I know I'm an uptight ass. Like, I know I can't relax. I know I sound like I'm stiff as hell. So I use this as a reminder that, hey, man, this is still a game. Have fun. Relax. Enjoy yourself. But that leads me to ask everybody in this room, you ever drank on the job?
No,
Not here, so you don't have to worry about getting in trouble.
No,
I'm talking about anywhere else, like at Disney. You ever get drunk at Disney and walk around in the Mickey Mouse costume?
First off, getting drunk at Disney World is a mistake while working because it's 90 degrees out. That sun is not going anywhere, and you're gonna pass the hell out. So no, at Disney, it was mandatory that we drank water. We had to have our water bottle on us at all times.
Okay. This dude went like this. What, you had it on the strap?
It was on the belt loop. We had to have a water bottle on the belt loop. It was mandatory. But no, I've never drank on the job because when I drink, I like to enjoy myself, and it's gonna go in an unprofessional manner if I do it on the job. It's gonna go live real quick.
I feel like Corey only gets blackout drunk. Like
it sounds from his stories, that is all. He doesn't want to drink if he can't.
I don't get blackout drunk. I have before, but
Except
I don't.
for that time you didn't know if you were streaking or not.
That's one story.
All right.
But it's those pale in comparison to the actual drinking days. I can drink. I just don't, while working, can't do it.
Joey, you don't drink at all.
I mean, I wouldn't say ever, but
Except
it's like
your best friend, Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, I've drank a few times in my life. It's never been my thing. I think it's a waste, but to each their own.
Yeah. Art, you ever gotten drunk on the job?
Yeah, the reason why I don't drink anymore is because I'm an idiot when I drink. So I'm similar to Corey. Like, it's just, and not to judge Corey, but you said, like, it just seems like he just gets blackout. I can't have just one beer, so I don't drink at all.
Yeah, you actually just celebrated, what, 1 year of not drinking?
Well, I celebrated 1 year, and then I got blasted on the 4th of July, and I don't remember. I made a fool out of myself, and I was like, this is why I don't drink. So, yeah, I haven't had a drink in like 7 months. I have no reason to drink. If it's your thing, cool. I can't do it.
I have been train wrecked at so many jobs on the air. Like, it is crazy. I can't even tell you. Like, there was a time when I first started touring, so I just shut the mics off and I didn't talk the rest of the evening. I just became like a radio robot just playing music. Because
if I had to go to that concert, I would have gotten drunk too. Jesus.
This was when Oakenfold was the man. You know, the plenty of nights at Motor getting messed up and then going to work, and mostly hosting clubs and on the radio because that's what you do. But
you're in the environment though, so that's like a different setting. But as far as like a regular job, I mean, even in this situation, it's sports. You should be drinking in sports if that's your thing. Have fun, loosen up, like you said.
Yeah.
Now I will say this. My regular, 9 to 5 jobs like this, I have not drank on the job. But if we're talking about working in the club, that's a different story because in the club, I mean, come on, man. I have promoters that come in there that book me, and it's damn near like you gotta take a shot with us. So I mean, yeah, in the club, of course, that's the setting.
Yeah, of course.
Unless it's Patron, I don't drink that. But other than that, I have my fair share.
Yeah, no, I've had other executive lunches that have ran long, and you've had to come back to your office job a little bit tipsy. I think a lot of people do that. Like, they take those 2-hour lunches. Next thing you know, one drink turns into 4, and you're back at the office just like goofy, like, hey, I'm working now. So if anybody is an office worker and you got a cool story, let us know in the chat. We'd love to hear about it. But overall, I would love to see Joe Buck hammered calling a game. Like, that's my new goal in life. Let Joe Buck do the play-by-play and Marshawn Lynch or Snoop Dogg do the color. Drunk Joe Buck and Marshawn Lynch, that is my new favorite tandem.
I don't know. If we're all right, so we're talking about sports announcers. I'm going with Al Michaels. Al Michaels just wasted.
That would be funny.
Nah, for me, it would have to be Kevin Harlan. Easy. He's the most, and to me, he's one of the better ones out there as far as just his animation. And I could just only imagine, and that's sober, I'm assuming. So I could only imagine if he was, a little inebriated, that might go to a whole nother level.
Yeah, what other sports commentators would you love to see sports commentate drunk? Like a Stephen A. Smith drunk?
Oh,
Dude's
that'd be
already
great.
on 10. Imagine him drunk, just belligerent, yelling stuff.
Hey, I mean, he'll be shouting out every time he shouts out a word, I have to go to my thesaurus and like, so I can only imagine what he's going to pull out of his bag if he has a few drinks in him.
We got some Dan Miller drunk. Could you imagine Dan Miller drunk calling a Lions game? I'm surprised he hasn't been drunk on that 0-16 season.
I want
Mickey
George
Redmond
Blaha.
dropping F-bombs already. Could you imagine if he was drunk?
Who?
Mickey Redmond.
Oh, Redmond?
Yeah.
He is drunk, though.
Goal.
Yeah, Don Cherry was drunk as hell half the time when he was talking hockey. And who'd you say? Blaha.
George Blaha.
That would be hilarious to hear Blaha. So yeah, Joe Buck, he said he drank on the job, but he's not getting hammered on the job. And that's such a Joe Buck take on it. Like, yes, I drink, but it's only there as a sentimental reminder for me not to have a stick in my ass. Like, bro, just relax, have fun with this.
There was a Michigan news anchor that my grandmother would make fun of all the time for being drunk. Bill Bonds.
Oh man.
She said,
but he had an alcohol problem, bro.
Okay.
Like that was a well-known alcoholic problem. Dude was on there, rosy red cheeks, flaming white hair, just talking his news. What a legend. That's a legend right there.
R.I.P. to the legend.
Yeah. You remember Bill Bonds, Art?
Bill Bonds was the man. He's a Detroit legend. Let that man drink. I mean, obviously, let him rest in peace now, but
right.
God, he was a legend.
Chris Collinsworth with his southern drawl already drinking. That would be a hilarious call on any game. Collinsworth, to me, is one of my favorite guys. I love Collinsworth. Some people hate him. I love him. So, yeah, that's the Joe Buck story. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, Adam is here with his parlay of the day. Make sure you get your betting ready to go because Adam wants to put some money in your pocket. Coming up next.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys. And ladies, this is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show right here live on the Woodward Sports Network every morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And our app is officially out. If you're listening right now on the app, thank you so much for downloading it. If you're watching us on any social platform, make sure you slide on over, download the app. It's actually absolutely free. WSN Live with an exclamation point is what you got to search. WSN Live. It'll pop up. Or if you want to take the easy way out, just go to woodwardsports.com and there's a link right there it'll take you right to it on your phone, right, Adam?
That's right.
Because you set up the link.
That's right. Go to woodwardsports.com. In our menu, you see download our app. Click on it. It'll take you directly to the App Store.
Awesome.
Okay.
So every morning at 8:50, Adam comes on with his parlays of the day. We had an interesting parlay yesterday. You did 3.
Mhm.
You took Serena to win, though?
Yeah, yesterday was a big miss on the Serena call, but whenever you get Serena Williams as an underdog, you got to take it.
It's worth
you gotta
the
take
risk.
you got to take the risk on that.
Right. So what are we looking at today, Adam?
Today we're back to normal. We're gonna take a 5-team parlay.
Okay.
Everything in the world is normal almost. We're gonna take Milwaukee, even though the last 4 times I've picked Milwaukee, they have let me down. We're gonna take Milwaukee to beat the Toronto Raptors straight up. We're gonna take the Miami Heat off a back-to-back to to beat the Sacramento Kings tonight.
I was shocked the Heat blew that lead last night.
Man.
They were up big.
Well, fun fact, 6 of the last 7 games I've bet on where a team has had a back-to-back, the team has won.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep riding that train until I've been proven wrong.
They were up nearly like 20 yesterday at halftime.
Mm-hmm. I believe 24, right?
Yeah.
Was the biggest lead.
Yeah, it was big.
Yeah. The next game is the Los Angeles Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets. Maybe a finals preview. I don't know, but I'm gonna take the under. It's at 237.
Okay.
Super big number. I don't think it's gonna happen. Kyrie might play tonight, so we'll see about that. And then of course we're gonna move to college basketball. Michigan plays tonight. They play Rutgers. That's a free game.
It's a free game.
That's one of the probably the only free ones on this list is Michigan basketball versus Rutgers.
Yeah,
so,
football didn't fare so well, so let's try basketball.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about Michigan football. not relevant at all. And then the last game, we're actually going to do another Big Ten basketball game, Penn State and Ohio State. We're going to take the under. The point total is 146. I'm going to take the under on it.
So how are you coming up with these? Like when you just look at them, you're dissecting. Like what? How do you pull out the games that you want to target?
So I think it's super easy for people, especially new people, just to go on there and see who the favorites are and take them. The way I approach it is you look at the team, how they've performed in their previous games, their head-to-head matchups during the season, how they're faring, the average amount of points they're scoring per game, whether it's a night game, a midday game. There's a lot of research that goes behind it, and the biggest thing is kind of my X decision factor typically is going to be gut decision. I'll look at all the analytics, I'll look at all my pros and cons to taking a bet, and then I'll go like, okay, what am I feeling on this one? And that'll be my decision making.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, how you doing so far this year?
So far,
You're
we're
still up, right?
Yeah, we're up big time. I mean, from day one, we were up 800 on my bookie because of Dawson Knox. So
Dawson Knox,
we got to
the
give a
first
big shout
touchdown,
out,
baby.
Big shout out to Dawson Knox. He put us up big. The last week hasn't been the best, but we hit a nice tennis parlay. Thanks to my boy Fish.
Yeah, the Bucks have been screwing us lately on the parlays, man. The Bucks losing 4 games in a row, potentially 5. Like, Giannis says it's not the end of the world. He's not the one putting his money out there. Damn it, Giannis.
If you go back on Best Bet Michigan, you look at all of our parlays that we have put out, it's typically been the Bucks or the Nets ruining all of our parlays.
Yeah, because they're so tough to predict this year. But yeah, so thank you, Adam. Let's run it down one more time real quick. What are your parlay bets of the day?
Yeah, we're going to do Milwaukee to beat the Toronto Raptors straight up. We're going to have the Heat beating the Sacramento Kings straight up. We're going to have the Los Angeles Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets game go under 237 points. Michigan straight up to beat Rutgers, and Penn State versus Ohio State. I'm going to take the under on the point total at 146.
All right. That is your parlay of the day from Mr. Adam. Thank you so much, Adam, for coming on every morning at 8:50 and giving us your bets of the night. And it also adds some intrigue into the games.
Adam with his Bucks is me at the roulette table because I always like going on the outside, red or black, and then I look at the screen, and it's a whole bunch of reds. I'm like, all right, this one's going to hit black. It loses. This one's going to hit black.
Someone who doesn't get enough criticism in the NBA right now is Giannis. He signed that contract way too goddamn early. If I was him, I would have walked into the front office before I signed the contract. I said, listen, motherfuckers, you're going to trade Chris Middleton. You're going to go get me Bradley Beal. I don't care how many first-round picks you have to give up, and you're going to help me build a contender, and then I'll sign a contract.
Yeah, I have a rough time, though, because as much as I bash LeBron for leaving and not staying and building a team and becoming a champion there, I'm not going to knock Giannis for actually manning up and owning it and trying to create a winner where he was drafted.
Okay, but to be fair to Giannis and the Bucks, they've put Lopez, Middleton. They've gotten pieces. They've actually went out and brought in, whether through free agency or through the draft, actual players. LeBron's first run with Cleveland, we can all admit, was a horrible roster. Nobody wants to go to Cleveland, but whether that's because of LeBron or not, or the way he treats his coaches is irrelevant. We're just going to dissect the roster.
He left, Giannis to stay, and that's what I like.
But you like it, but I don't like it for the player. I think he had so much leverage and he tossed it away.
If you're the man, be the man.
I'm not saying he has
to be a great leader. He wants to support him and never winning.
No, I want him to be the man. If you're the man, you got to be the man. You can't go run to be somebody else's man.
Okay, I don't want to talk about LeBron right now. I want to focus on Giannis. Giannis clearly is the one on the team. That's not for debate.
He's the man.
Chris Middleton is not a 2, and that's the issue. And in the NBA, you need a 1 and you need a 2. They both need. You need to have it. There are only 2 teams in the last 25 years that have won without a 1 or 2, and that's been the Pistons in 04 and the Mavericks. That is it.
Yeah.
Dirk was a 1.
Dirk was a 1,
but there was no 2 on that team.
Jason Terry was lighting it up back then, man.
Not a 2. Not a 2.
See, but it's these stars that make these other players look that great on the court. So you can't take that away. When the ball and the defense is focused on Dirk, obviously there's going to be other weapons. They're NBA players. There's always going to be someone that can hit threes.
Remember we used to knock LeBron for not having jump shot? And then he spent 2 summers not perfecting it, but getting better. Now he has a respectable three-point jump shot. He has a decent mid-range. I'm not saying he's better than most players in the league
except that shot from the logo the other day. That's straight air ball.
Air ball.
It was a swish, like Corey said, but just the wrong kind of swish.
It's all those overtime games. It's wearing on his legs.
But putting in that work in the offseason and developing your game is something Giannis seriously needs to consider.
Yeah.
He's got to get way better.
Shot.
He needs a jump shot.
Yeah.
That team will never win anything significant if he's going to rely on punishing his body, driving in and getting points at the basket. It's just not going to work.
At the end of the day, I still appreciate Giannis for taking the contract, staying there, and trying to build something. I appreciate that a lot more than just chasing a ring.
But he's got to be self-aware enough to say, you know what, I'm going to stay here. I want to deliver a championship to Milwaukee, but I'm not fucking doing it with Chris Middleton. I've tried it for the last 3 years. Shit doesn't work.
Right. All right, well, it's almost 9 o'clock. Terry Foster is going to step in. Joey, let's do your news right now, and then Terry Foster will join us right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Here we go, Joey.
Good morning, everyone.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Let's get into Joey's news.
Let's go.
So, yeah, we got to say let's go. Not for Serena Williams, for Naomi Osaka, who is advancing to the Australian Open final. Here is a clip yesterday of Serena Williams breaking down into tears and walking off of this news conference.
We're playing the game first. You have to say what happened in the game first, Joseph.
Okay, Art wants to play the game footage. As you can imagine, she lost on this. That's what happened on this play. She lost. But here is the clip. Are you ready? You ready? So here's the clip of Serena Williams breaking down into tears as the reporters ask what her future is going to look like.
Room, please. Yeah, Craig, then.
You're saying about the unforced errors through the match. Considering how well you've played to get to this stage, what do you feel caused that? Or was it just one of those bad days at the office?
I don't know. I'm done.
In other sad news, let's go to the Detroit Pistons.
Sad news.
Blowing a 25 freaking point lead. That happened yesterday. The Detroit Pistons losing to the Chicago Bulls by 3. But Jeremy Grant, a career high 43 points. It just sucks that this game doesn't even result in a W for his team. And then we go to the other sadness in Detroit. The Detroit Red Wings losing to the Chicago Blackhawks 2-0, and this is back-to-back losses against the Blackhawks for the Detroit Red Wings.
And the Blackhawks are trash, so that sucks.
Not against us. Not against us. I wanted to give a quick little shout-out to the Yaldo Eye Center. My people over there, Dr. Yaldo, the entire staff there, Eli Zaret, Diana, the entire team is so friendly, and that's what you want out of a LASIK center, especially when they're touching your eyeballs. You want to feel comfortable, and that is all that I felt. And thanks to you, Stick, because you obviously did it first, and then you walked me through the whole process, and you were like, Joey, this only takes 5 minutes.
Yep. No, I'm like Ray J. I did it first.
Yeah. With Dr. Yaldo. You did it first with Dr. Yaldo.
The LASIK.
Oh, okay, the LASIK. Call right now, your free evaluation, 1-800-398-EYES, or go to YaldoEyeCenter.com.
And thank you very much to everybody that's watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter right now. We're also on Twitch. We're on TikTok. And, of course, the app dropped yesterday, so if you haven't already picked it up, it's absolutely free on the App Store. Just search WSN Live with an exclamation point. We're going to take a 15-second break. When we come back, Terry Foster is going to join us for our Thursdays with Terry, 9 a.m. right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. It's always a pleasure on Thursdays to have the legend in the house, Terry Foster. And, you know, I'm a little disappointed in Corey. Like, we talked last night how you were going to say...
Oh, you're supposed to get it from his uncle, or...
Yeah, I got played.
You
Wow.
you were going to tell me about something you were happy with about Corey, but today was supposed to be Fedora Day,
Yeah,
Terry.
I know he blew it. But you know what? I always hate to come in here on a salty mood, but man, you guys are like my children. Learn sports. You don't win a tennis game. It's a match. Okay? I mean,
are you talking to Joey right now?
Yeah, where is he?
He left the room.
All right. Tell young Joseph you win a bunch of games to win the match.
Mm-hmm.
You don't win the game. Serena Williams didn't lose the game. She lost some games. And
Yeah,
she
lost a
the
lot
match.
of games that made her lose the match.
She lost 12 of them.
Yes.
To be in fact.
Yes.
But I'm glad you wore your little fedora here today.
Yeah, man, and you know what? I feel very comfortable in this. Like, I looked at myself last night. I'm like, damn, I could have been a hipster in a different life.
I know. You know, that thing looks too small for your head.
Is
though.
it? I don't know, man. Should I wear it like this, like some guys do?
Yeah.
There we go.
You should move it around or something.
Okay. Do the side piece?
Yeah,
The
little
side,
side
piece.
piece.
Yeah, it looked like a 80s gangster.
No, don't do that. That looks terrible.
Do I pull it down all the way, like over the
no,
eyebrows and ears?
No, now you look like Gomer Pyle.
I think
not
it's
Gomer Pyle,
backwards.
Goober.
Goober?
That's what you look like.
Well, Terry, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
As always, it's a pleasure to
And I
have
actually
you.
came here to praise Corey.
Uh-oh.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
I read your little blog piece the other day on Matthew Stafford, and I think I chastised you a little bit by saying, don't write news. Write on that blog why I should care. Move me. Push me in a certain direction. I think you did that.
Thank you.
How did he move you? How did he push you?
He pushed me by saying, you know what? Matthew Stafford's jive. He said something he didn't like about playing big games, and so he had a position, which is fine. Show me something. Take a position, even if it's not popular.
So proud of you, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
No, and I actually, your tweet was up on the big screen here yesterday of
didn't
you
even know
and
it.
Terry Foster. Yeah, they highlighted Corey's tweet, and he had a very great tweet about like your relationship that's slowly forming between the two of you. And why don't you share that, Corey?
Oh, the tweet, I just said, hey, he's in the studio, and I've always listened to him on the radio for many years, so it's like this is what he's one of the inspirations for what I'm trying to do, so why not pick his brain when he's right here? I mean, that would just be dumb not to.
That's what I would do.
Right.
And I'm gonna pick your brain after the show. So.
Okay.
I love this. I love this. This is so fun to watch, man.
Right now, I have something I want to show you guys.
Uh-oh. Hands above the
Brought
table.
my little bag.
Okay.
My little girl's bag here. But I guess you guys were talking about uniforms, the jerseys the other day.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
Now, I have a very unique jersey.
Ooh.
Now, am I doing this camera? This.
Iceman.
Yeah.
Eastern Michigan.
Do you guys know who Iceman is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I just want to make sure because you guys are kind of young.
George Gervin played
This
for
is
the Spurs.
George Gervin jersey. And now here's one that's going to freak you out.
How long have you had that jersey, Terry?
About 10 years.
About 10 years?
Yeah.
That's a nice one, man. That's crispy.
Oh, it's great.
That's crispy.
I gave a speech at a school, and the person who put it on collects jerseys, and they gave me a couple.
Oh, nice. What was your speech on?
I don't know. Who knows? I don't even know what I talked about yesterday. But here's another one.
The Stags.
Now, do you know who the Stags are?
Is that
Not at all.
Bettis?
Mackenzie Stags. This is his high school. Well, it's not really his high school jersey because they put his name on the back.
It is Bettis. Nice.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yep. So I got a Mackenzie Stags jersey, which, not me. Because when you talk about jerseys, you got a Tiger, Miguel Cabrera, a Lions,
Right.
Barry Sanders. Who's got a George Gervin Eastern Michigan jersey.
I should have one.
You should. If you had one, it'd probably be San Antonio Spurs or something.
Right.
Yeah, I actually met him last year at the NBA All-Star Weekend, because he's a fellow Eagle. Then he corrected me and said, "No, I'm a Huron." And I'm like, "That's right."
Oh, yeah,
it
you
was,
can't. Yeah,
it was Eastern Michigan Hurons.
It's like the Wayne State
at one point too.
Yeah, the Wayne State people don't say you're. What are they now?
Tartar. Or they're Warriors now.
Warriors now.
Yeah, they're Tartars.
They've always been the Tartars.
Yes. And you know what a Tartar is?
Wasn't it like a gladiator type guy?
No, I think it's has something to do with boating.
Okay. Yeah. All right, that makes sense for
not
Wayne State.
Sure exactly, but it's nautical.
Okay. All right.
And it's supposed to be Tartars, but we call them Tartars.
The Tartars. Yeah, you used to drive down the lodge, and on their football field, just in huge letters, just say Tartar.
Right.
And every time I'd pass it, that's how I'd know, oh, that's Wayne State right there.
Have you been to a game there?
No, I have not. I've partied like on the street right behind there a couple times.
Okay.
Does that count?
Now, Corey,
drunk.
you went to Eastern Michigan?
Yeah.
Did you actually go to a football game there?
Yeah, I went to a lot of them.
Did you?
Yeah, because my fraternity brother was the starting wide receiver, so we were there supporting.
So he made you go.
And he didn't make us go. I actually went before.
Oh, you stuttered. He made you go.
You went. I went before he started playing there, but once we became fraternity brothers, then he made us go.
Okay.
I went to a couple of Eastern games when I was a kid. Earl the Pearl Boykins when he was playing there, and there was a tournament, I believe.
And Grant Long?
Yep, Grant Long played there. Yeah, I went to some Eastern games. I went to University of Detroit. So that's
Derek Dials was in that team, I think.
I don't remember that.
I think it may have been.
Yeah, I went to University of Detroit when Rashad Phillips was there.
Oh,
and that was a fun little stretch.
Do you remember what his dad always used to scream at games?
All eyes on three.
All eyes on three.
All eyes on three.
Now Rashad Phillips now is like one of the great basketball minds out there. He needs
Twitter's
a gig.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I've reached out to him. I've tried to hit him up on DMs, and I even used the UAD card, and I didn't get a response. You got a way we can reach out to him? Because I would love to get him on the Woodward Sports Network.
I think I can get him.
Oh, because he's amazing.
Because I used to do stories on him when nobody else did. So.
Right. Yeah, his story is amazing. Like he didn't get very many big offers, but to me, he was Iverson. Like he was he was literally the college version of Iverson when he was playing at UAD, and to take them to 2 NCAA tournaments back to back. Just a fun time to be a college student there.
Ferndale Eagle. Every time we went to gym, we saw his picture up on the wall of everybody that went all state and whatnot.
Yeah, so I actually got to watch a great high school basketball game last night. Orchard Lake St. Mary's, the #1 team in the state, versus Grand Blanc, the #2 team in the state. Jason Richardson's, I think, nephew was playing for Grand Blanc. Kid was a baller. And then he's up for Mr. Basketball. And then Julian Roper for Orchard Lake St. Mary's is up for Mr. Basketball,
now, who won
too.
that contest?
Orchard Lake St. Mary's won that contest.
All right, were you cheering?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was doing the color commentary.
Oh,
yeah,
so knowing you were cheering.
I was being a little biased. Fish asked me if I was being biased. I said, yeah, of course. I know more about that team. So, yeah, I was excited to watch it.
No cheering in the press box. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, you're going to train me to be down the middle. Like, I am a very biased person.
Actually, now that I think about it, I don't want to change you.
Oh, thanks,
I
man.
like it when you say we, you feel that you're part of the team. I think it's kind of cute. So why don't you keep it?
It's endearing now.
Ignore me.
It's endearing. Instead of making me look stupid.
No, I mean, I think most people agree that we should just allow you to say we. But these guys around here don't have enough balls to tell me, no, T, you're wrong on this one.
Yeah. Well, that's the way I look at it. Yeah, I look at it like, that's my team, man. If I ever had a kid and they played for a horrible Little League team, I'm still going to root for them, and that's how I've always viewed the Lions. Like, they're my Little League team that my kid plays for. I got to root for them.
What about the Tigers? Are they your team?
Yeah, they're all my teams.
Everybody, okay.
Yeah.
So all of them are we.
I love them all. I love them all, man. I wish I could be a part of them, but I'm not. So here we are. I'm as close as I can get.
I only feel like we with the Pistons, and that's mainly just because I interned there. Outside of that, I'm just a super fan.
You work there. I mean, they let you in the building.
But Corey's a legitimate reporter. I'm just a dude.
Yeah, Corey. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's all I am.
He's a little bit of a reporter.
Yep.
You can't be saying we now, brother.
I can't say we anymore. I mean, I'm over the past, I guess you can say, year and a half. I've been trying to slowly take myself out of the fandom, but it's just still moments where I'm like, let me just get off of social media and just cuss and yell alone because I know I can't be like, what the F are we doing, Pistons? Stuff like that. I have to catch myself at times, so I'm still struggling.
Speaking of the Pistons, man, did they fall apart last night? Oh, my goodness.
And we've seen that
you know
so
what?
much.
When they were up by 9, I knew they were going to lose.
Yeah.
There was just too much momentum, and they couldn't stop it. And then all of a sudden, they couldn't even set up their offense. They were terrible, except for one guy.
Jeremy Grant.
And then it turned into a pretty much a duel between Jeremy Grant and Levine.
And Levine, man, the way he started that third quarter, I was just like, oh, they're about to smoke this lead.
You know who he reminded me of last night? LeBron James when he scored 25 in a row against the Pistons.
God, this is the second day in a row that's been brought up. Why are you bringing that up again, Terry?
Because Zach LaVine reminded me, because he was just going to the basket. There'd be like 8 dudes there.
Right.
He said, it don't matter. I'm just taking to these chumps.
I was at that LeBron game, and I was sitting probably a row away from his mom, and his mom was just going nuts the whole game. And to me, that was, you could tell that was the chopping off of the head of our dynasty for the Pistons there. That was it. That was the moment it ended.
One dude said, you're done.
Yep, that's it. Well, and pretty much he said that to the league, too, I guess.
And you don't like him.
I don't like LeBron, no. I mean, I like him as a humanitarian, what he does with his money for kids in school and all that stuff. I don't love the way he railroads coaches. I don't love the way, he treats teammates. I don't love the way – I just don't love him as a teammate type guy.
Well, he's a competitor. He's not in the league to play ball. He's in the league to win championships. And to win championships, you got to be an asshole.
Yeah, no, that's true. And the same thing in business. Sometimes you got to push some buttons, and I get it. Like Jordan, I'll never deny his talent, but I don't have to like him.
Asshole.
Yeah, he's an asshole. Mm-hmm. And that's okay.
Pretty much every winner I've ever seen of that level of there are people who win and then you like them, but to win at the levels of a Jordan, a LeBron, a Kobe, a Tom Brady, all those guys have a sense that I've seen of they turn that switch on to being a complete prick or an asshole. It's you actually sometimes have to take on being the villain to get where you need to be.
Yeah, well, when you look here in Detroit with Isaiah Thomas, he came to an organization that wasn't interested in winning. They wanted to be competitive. They wanted to win ball games. To me, that's not winning. That's just making money. But he pushed those guys into thinking championship, and everybody bought into it. But who was the heavy? Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, and
Michael
Lambeer
Jordan
was his enforcer.
Right.
Yeah.
And Mahorn.
Because
Mahorn had to teach Lambeer how to be tough. That was his mentor.
Yeah.
So, but what do they say in sports? Nice guys finish last.
Yeah, and but it also comes with some consequence too, because if you go back to that Jordan documentary, he had to live a very secluded and alone lifestyle because he was always focused on just winning. He didn't go out with the team. He didn't do all that. He didn't partake in dinners. But he got the championships, which is what you want.
But he became Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael Jordan couldn't go out.
Right.
We went to Michael Jordan's restaurant in Chicago when he had that. He had this beautiful area just for him. It was like a big conference room. He would eat dinner by himself, but that's all he could do. He became bigger than the game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he transcended for sure.
It wasn't because he was a jerk that he couldn't go out. It's just that, I'm sure teammates were annoyed when you go out with them and
right.
You're disrupted all the time. You can't really enjoy yourself. So,
I heard a story about Kobe with one of his teammates, because Kobe was also infamous for not clubbing and not going out like that. And one night, I forget which teammate it was, convinced Kobe to go out. He's like, okay, I'll go out with you to your club, but you got to get up with me in the morning and do a workout. So they partied till 2 a.m. Kobe's still up at 5 a.m. in the gym. And, the guy that took him along to the club was just struggling. And that's the last time they ever went out. You weren't going to throw him off his agenda.
There's a story when new guys come to the Lakers, Kobe wants to work out with him. And so they said, well, what time you want to work out? He said, 4 o'clock. So they're assuming it's 4 p.m. Kobe said, no, 4 a.m. Get your ass out of bed. We got to do this thing.
And to be the greats, you got to train like the greats. And, not Allen Iverson not wanting to practice. Kobe's practicing while you're sleeping.
Right, and that's why we see you on the microphone like at 3 a.m. doing your thing.
That's right. I'm at my house practicing.
I believe that.
I believe that.
Now, unless you have something else on your mind, I gotta get something on my chest.
Whatever you want, man. This is your time on the show.
All right, the bars and restaurants opening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here is what pisses me off. And it's gonna piss me off again. When you go to a sports bar and the bartender doesn't know what games to put on. I'm like, dude, if you're a bartender, here's what you need to do. Know how to pour a drink, know how to pour beer without getting foam all over the place, take your order accurately, and also put the right games on the TVs.
Yeah.
Now, one time we were in Indianapolis, and I don't know why. We were there for something. The Pacers were playing that night. This bartender had the game on, the Pacers game, which she should have. Then at halftime, she turned it off. But there was a problem. She said, well, nobody watches halftime. I said, well, but there's one issue. It was the day that they retired Reggie Miller's number.
During the halftime ceremony?
Yeah, big ceremony for Reggie Miller. He was out there, and she turned it off. And I said, sister, more people care about this halftime tonight than the game. She had no idea. She had no clue.
Yeah. You really want to put that on her, though, that she's got to know Reggie Miller's retirement
She's
ceremony?
in Indianapolis. Reggie Miller has been Indianapolis sports for like 50 years.
Right.
Yeah, you should know that.
Yeah, we talked yesterday about his 8 points in 9 seconds. Or
yeah,
9
that was
points in 8
pretty
seconds.
sweet.
Yeah, it was an amazing feat. But yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, there's nothing worse than when you're sitting at a bar and they have the game you want, like on the TV over there, and they got like Rhode Island versus some other team I don't give a shit about over here, and they don't understand to put the game.
Brook.
Yeah, I just want to see my team, but they don't understand it, and I agree with you, man. Like, I think that's on the manager of the bar though to be like, guys, big Piston game tonight. Let's make sure we got it on all TVs.
I mean, also too, like you said, like Terry said, if you're a bartender, if you're in control of that remote, man, you got to know what's the big games on. You don't even really have to be a sports person. Just open them. Everybody has cell phones now. Just go take a quick look on whatever sports website tickles your fancy, and like, okay, oh, this might be big. And if you got multiple TVs, which most of these sports bars do, just put the ones you would think would be the most intriguing ones on first, and if you don't know, ask the manager.
Or if you don't know anything about sports, don't work in a sports bar.
That's fair.
How about work in a pub?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, all you got to do is pour the beer and make sure that you have the burgers rolling.
Yeah, be a beer tender, not a bartender.
Right.
And that's what I would be if I ever Have you ever bartended?
Yes.
I can't do it.
I bartended when I was 18 and 19 years old, because what happened was when I was a youngster, the drinking age was 18, and then they moved it up to 21 when I was 19, but I got grandfathered where I could still serve drinks.
Okay.
So I was a bartender at America's first sports bar, the Lindell AC, downtown Detroit, which is no longer there. But yeah, I was there, and I had a blast doing that. And you know what I used to do? I used to make fun of my customers. I used to give them names. There was this dude that would come in every day for lunch, quote unquote. But he wasn't eating anything. He would come in.
Liquid lunch?
Huh?
Liquid lunch?
He would drink his lunch. And then there was this guy named Sam, who I nicknamed him the Son of Sam. And I made a little song about him and everything. So he used to drink several rum and cokes every day. So one day he came in and says, young fella, from now on, I want a rum and orange juice. I'm like, what's up with that? He says, well, my doctor said that the rum and coke isn't good for me, and I need to not drink as many. And so I turned to him, I said, Sam.
So he eliminates the coke, not the rum?
Don't you think they're talking about the rum part, brother? And he got mad at me and told me to shut up. But I love doing that.
Yeah, I mean, being social with people is fun. I just don't have the memory capacity. Like, my brain, I'm horrible with names. Like, if I meet somebody, I forget their name immediately. And it would be the same thing if I'm taking a drink order. They'd tell me, like, 5 drinks. I just, like, look at them, nod my head like I understood, and then I'd turn around and be like, what the hell did they just order?
I don't know how to make the drinks now.
Right.
Because back then it was rum and coke or a screwdriver or vodka and tonic. Now they got all these exotic names.
Right.
Sex on the beach. And
you ever hear when Bill Murray was bartending? Because Bill Murray's just one of the greatest humans ever to walk the planet Earth and just does whatever the hell he wants. So sometimes he just shows up at bars and bartends, and no matter what anybody orders, he just gives them a shot of whiskey. Like, you come up, I want a tequila. All right, here's your tequila. And he just, it's a shot of whiskey. That's all he knows how to pour.
Sounds great.
Right. I want to be at that bar. Actually, in Southwest or in Corktown, one of the bars changed their name to the Bill Murray Bar, hoping that he would just show up there and do it. He never did, but it was a good try.
I don't remember the Bill Murray Bar.
Yeah, it's a speakeasy. What is it called? I forget the name of it. It's Sweet something or whatever. They just switched their name and put a new sign up for
Sugar
a couple.
House?
Sugar House.
Yeah.
Sugar House.
Oh, man,
they changed their name for like a month or two because this is when Bill Murray was doing his bar tour of America, and they were hoping to coax him in. And how cool would that have been? It didn't happen, so now they're back to Sugar House. Which, by the way, great drinks.
Oh, that's my favorite bar.
Really?
That's one of my favorite bars. That one and it's one in Ferndale called the Oakland.
Oakland. Yeah.
Yeah, those are called what kind of drinks?
Speakeasies.
No.
Craft
It
cocktails?
is craft cocktails.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And
guy's
with a
got to
craft-
have a handlebar mustache.
Right. With a craft cocktail, for instance, you cannot have an apple martini.
Mm-mm.
You know why? Because the apple is fake in those bars. You have to use actual apple.
Yep.
They use Coke out of the bottle. So everything, and they use high-end liquor.
Good whiskey. I love those kind of bars. I don't love spending $15 per drink. I would rather buy a $15 bottle, but you know.
Yeah, I think my first time I went to Sugar House was with my cousin Bruce, and that's the first time I had a drink that had egg in it. And at first I'm like, I'm not drinking that with egg, and he's like, man, you gotta open up your palate, just trust me. And I did it. And every time I go back to Sugar House, I always order that same damn drink. It was just phenomenal.
You know where else I go that's near Sugar House? To James.
Yeah.
I heard
The
about
distillery.
that.
Yeah, I go there. There's never a lot of people there, but you meet interesting people every time you go there.
Do they have the sports games on while you're there?
There's no television.
There's no television. It's the same thing with Sugar House too. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's just booze and you.
that's a fun experience always. Booze and me. I love that.
I love going. I've met a man and woman who were traveling across the country in a truck. They had to deliver something. They started in New Mexico, and they had to deliver it to Massachusetts, and they kept stopping at places and everything, and they were just getting plowed. I don't know how they were driving, but they were
they were making it.
they were sugar housed.
That is,
and they were having sex in every city and all kinds of stuff.
man, that's a fun road trip. I want to go on that
It
road
is.
trip.
So where's your favorite? Both of you guys. Where are your favorite places to drink and watch sports in Michigan? Like here, like where's your go-tos?
My basement.
Yeah,
honestly, like I don't love being when I'm watching a sporting event and I'm into the game. I don't want a lot of people around me. I don't really love those like B-dubs atmospheres and stuff like that. On Sunday, it's me on the couch, nobody else. Leave me the hell alone so I can watch the game.
So you're studying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I watch games twice, 3 times just to make sure I'm watching different players and watching how plays developed. Yeah. Like back when the Pistons were awesome and I was working overnights, I would watch the game at 7 o'clock and then Fox would replay it at like 2 in the morning. And I'd watch both replays so I could, I knew Rip was coming off a curl on this one. How did he get open? And I'd watch the game again.
Right. See, I'd rather watch a game in my basement than actually go to the game. But I tell you what, one of my go-to places now is it's called the Brakeman downtown.
I think I heard of that, yeah.
Because they show every NFL game. It's huge, and I like crowds. And you watch from a picnic table, and you get that chicken from Penny Red's, which is delicious.
I haven't had Penny Reds yet, but I hear a lot about it. I hear a lot about Penny Reds and Gus's, so I gotta go check both of those out.
Gus is right down the street, man. We had that the other week. It's great.
Yeah, I tried it. Justin was telling me it's got a nice kick to it, man. You gotta try it. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's good.
See, I'm not a spicy guy, so
all love spicy.
I was not a big fan of Gus's because I just got the regular chicken.
Oh man, you would have hated what we had yesterday if you don't like spices.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. What was the name of the place, Corey?
Yum Village.
Yum Village. Have you ever been there?
Never heard of it.
It's on Woodward and what did he say?
Woodward in Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
No, haven't done that.
Man, Afro-Caribbean food is It was good. It went quickly.
It was
Corey,
damn
you look
good.
too young to drink.
Oh man, hey, I still get carded every time I go try to get tequila, so I get it.
That's the best part about Corey. When we first hired Corey here, we all thought Corey was like 23, maybe 24, maybe 25. Dude hands us his ID, and we're like, no, this can't be you. That birth date's way too early.
Like I said, if you guys think I look young, if you saw my mom, nobody believes that my mom is my mom. I actually had one situation where I was talking to a young lady, and I posted a picture of me and my mom, and I put hearts and everything like that. And the girl hits me up like, "Oh, you just gonna put up some other chick on your Instagram and everything like that?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "You just gonna play dumb? You just put some girl up?" I'm like, "What girl? Last girl I just put up. My last post is me and my mother." And she's like, screenshot me like this right here. I'm like, "Yeah, that's my mother." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I showed her an old 80s picture of my mom. She's like, "Your mom looks younger than me." I'm like, "Hey, I ain't got to do with that."
Hey, sorry about
Now,
your
are
old
you
ass.
one of those fools that puts on Facebook in a relationship and all that kind of
Oh,
crap?
hell no. I'm private as hell. No.
It's always it's complicated. And always stick with it's complicated. Be vague.
Yeah, I don't think you should put every move on Facebook. And I am a Twitter whore.
Yeah.
I'll admit that.
and a great troll.
Yeah, I'm a troll.
Yeah.
I admit it.
Yeah,
I'm a troll.
you're great at it,
But I'm not going to say I'm married or I got divorced yesterday or I have 4 girlfriends. I'm not going to do that stuff. That's private.
I'm very social. I put a lot of stuff out there, but even as social as I am on social media, there are still a lot of aspects and things about me I keep to myself because it's like, whatever I put out there, I don't care what about y'all criticizing or no one, but everything else, I like to keep that close to the chest.
Yeah, I'm kind of an open book. I'll tell you anything. That's one of my faults. I'm too honest sometimes. Like you ask me something, I'll give you the real honest
answer. But I always
answer.
think the government is looking at you, so they're going to come and arrest you one day if you put the wrong thing on there.
Yeah, I don't put anything wrong on there. So I treat my Facebook like a diary. That's really my philosophy behind it because I just want to be able to go back and like life moments and big opportunities and things like that I post about. So that way, when the memories pop up, you can go back and just kind of chronologically organize your life.
Yeah, that's good.
That's how I use my Facebook anyways. Not everybody does. Some people use it for therapy. Some people use it just to create drama. Some people use it to hate their family. I don't know and understand why they do it that way because I don't want my memories popping up a year from now of me saying stupid, dumb things.
And they do give it, they throw it back on you.
Yeah.
Like 3 years later.
Right.
The people I feel sorry for is when somebody's mom or dad dies and they write these long, my best friend and everything. I just feel awful when that happens.
Yeah, I did that when my dad passed away. I wrote about just what I would do if I had one more day with him, and it all went back to a game I went to at Comerica Park. It was a interleague game, the Tigers versus the Cubs, and Ryan Rayburn hit a walk-off home run, and we were sitting about 10 rows up from home plate because I'd spent all the money I had in my bank account just to have a nice moment with my dad, and it turned into a walk-off home run moment, and that was like we were jumping around, celebrating. It was one of my favorite. And I did a little long post for that when he passed away. But, yeah, but like I said, that's for me, because now on the day that he passed away, it pops up and I can remember that moment.
Do you feel sad?
Not now, but I was mortified then. I mean, this is 3 years removed. I'm still affected by it.
See, I always tell everybody who have memories with their fathers, and even though you lost them, you should feel lucky because I didn't have that. My dad was murdered when I was young, so we didn't go to ball games. We didn't do a lot of things. He was in the Army, then he came back, then he got murdered, and we didn't have that. But I try to do that with my son. I think the highlight for me and my son Brandon, we went to Comerica Park and the Tigers are getting trashed by the Cleveland Indians, and they come into the 9th inning. They're down like 5 runs or something. They rally, and Miguel Cabrera, I believe, hit a walk-off home run, and they celebrated right in front of us. And he was just so excited. He was jumping up and down. "Oh, Dad, this is my favorite day of life."
Aw, that's
like,
awesome, man.
Yep.
Those are irreplaceable moments.
But we almost left.
Yeah, that's why I don't leave games either. I'm a stay till the very end of the game guy, like all the time.
See, I'm a game leaver.
Are you?
I'm like, if y'all can't perform, then you don't deserve my time. I'm out of here. But I stayed only because I was with my son.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that. It shouldn't be sad, should just be happy about the memories. When we did my dad's memorial, that was like the first line of my speech, because everybody that day, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And I kept telling people, don't feel sorry for me. I had 36 years of the best man on the planet as my father. I'm very lucky. Some people don't even get that. And as sad as I am to see him go, that's only because he was a great man and a great person to me. So, like, I can understand why you would say that.
Right. Actually, today is a sad day for me. I should have brought this up. I'm in mourning.
Oh.
Serena Williams lost last night, or this morning. I always root for her to win. And she's probably, I don't know if she's going to get this record for the Grand Slams because what's her name? Osaka's in the way.
Yeah.
And she's older. She's had a baby. She can make it to a lot of finals and semifinals, and not. She's got warning track power.
Right.
But I've always rooted for her, and so I'm a little bit in mourning today because my girl lost last night.
Yeah, she took it hard too. She was crying in her post-match interview.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not a post-game.
Yeah, not a post-game, post-match interview. And it is sad when you see the greats not diminish, I want to say, but
in decline.
You could see them in decline, yeah. And it's got to be hard for them to still have the mental capacity that your body can do what you want it to do, but your body just doesn't respond like it used to.
Right. You think you can still do it. She's like, I can whip this girl's ass.
Right.
No problem.
She has to. I mean, Serena is, when you're talking about individual athletes and not just team sports, you have to mention Serena as one of the greatest individual athletes to ever grace the earth. And the fact that I believe she's really self-aware, and she knows, like, Naomi's coming. And this is like, now I'm not even really able to get ride off into the sunset. I don't even really get to pass the torch. That she's taking the torch away from me. So that's probably what I'm just psychoanalyzing.
No, I know.
That could have been what that moment was from her. Like,
you can see the end near.
Yeah, like, do I still have it to at least get one more, or is this it? Is this as far as I'm going to go now? Like, getting to there, but not being able to, get over the hump. Like, I can beat everybody else, but nah, she's the new sheriff in town.
Right.
Can I beat her?
But so many people felt that way about Serena when she first came on the scene too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the cycle of sports. Like, the good guy finally becomes the bad guy eventually.
Right. But I think she sees the end is near, and not only can she not beat this girl, she can't beat anybody in the finals. I could be playing her in the finals. I'll probably beat her in 3 sets.
Just that final match that gets her.
Right. I don't know if she gets tired or because she sprays the ball all over the court at times. Sometimes she's just powerful and just is slamming the ball, and then she just sprays it.
Yeah.
In the Australian Open, she was putting it into the net all the time. And then usually she's like spraying it real wide. And she does it for like 4 or 5 games, and then she gets herself together, and then she becomes Serena again.
Yeah.
But do you guys have guys or any athletes that you just root for no matter what? Individual? Because I know you're a Tiger and and all that crap.
Yeah. No, like when Verlander left here, I rooted for him as an individual. I'm probably not going to root as hard for Stafford because there's more on the line if he does well, But I wanted to see Verlander get his World Series. I thought we could have had it here for him twice. I was lucky enough to go to a World Series game and see Kenny Rogers pitch in Smudgegate. But, yeah, I root for Verlander.
The person that I rooted for when they left Detroit was Chauncey Billups. I did not I was not a fan of the trade at the time. I felt that understood what the Pistons were trying to do as far as get over that hump, because they were going at that time. They were coming off of 6 straight conference finals appearances, and they just couldn't get back over that hump with Flip Saunders. But I just felt that the trade for Iverson was the true end. Like, they were bringing in a guy who had not proven anything as far as being a true team player, and you got rid of a true leader in Detroit as far as sports goes anyway. So I wasn't a fan of that one. So when he left and went to Denver, I was rooting hard for the Nuggets to at least be able to do something significant.
Yeah, they tried to get Iverson before then.
Yeah, and in the offseason, and for basically the same trade, and they make the trade when they're undefeated, and I just didn't understand it.
No, they tried to make it before they became good.
Oh, okay, yeah,
and
that's
the
right.
reason was Joe Dumars felt that the Pistons were irrelevant in this city. Nobody talked about them. Nobody was going to games. He felt he had to bring something to bring interest to the Pistons, so he was going to trade for Iverson, even though it wouldn't have been a good trade for him.
Wasn't that like during like right around that Teal era time, like with like a Matt Geiger?
Like
Matt Geiger or something like that.
You hate bringing up the LeBron James 25 points in a row. Please do not bring up the Teal era. To me.
Yeah, thank you, Terry. Thank you.
Now you like the Teal, didn't you?
I didn't like the teal. I just like the maroon jersey. I didn't like the. I didn't
It's
really
almost
like
worse
the,
than liking the teal.
Wow.
Like that Grand Hill one, man. I ain't gonna front. If I come across that Grand Hill maroon one, I will rock it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You rock it, I'll burn it.
Yeah, I want to forget that whole era, except for Grant Hill, the Junkyard Dog. I mean, we had a couple players back in the day, but no, get that teal era out of here. That's why I loved when Joe Dumars took over and said, "I don't bleed teal."
I'm gonna bring a teal jersey tomorrow.
No, you do it, you're out of here.
Now, if he brings a teal jersey, it better be the Vipers.
Yeah, I love the Vipers.
Theirs is better.
Yeah.
Do you know who the Vipers are?
Yeah,
down
Detroit
there?
Vipers.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, Detroit Vipers.
Remember, Corey is not as young as he looks.
I know.
So he was around for the Vipers.
I know. I get confused.
Right. So does everybody else. Well, Terry, thank you for your time this morning. It's always a pleasure to have you in on Thursdays, talking sports, talking Detroit, talking your awesome throwback jerseys.
Thank you.
I'm sorry Corey did not have his fedora and made us both look like clowns up here today.
No, he looks like the clown.
Okay.
We got it going on, and he didn't do his thing.
Yeah, I dropped the ball, but
and I praised you today too.
I dropped the ball. I'm sorry.
You had a whole week. We talked about this last week.
I know, and as curb services, I got you. I'm like, you know what? I should just went ahead and bought it myself. But he said he had me in.
That's what I was gonna say, brother. Don't you have a Visa card or something?
Yeah,
MasterCard.
You know, Amazon delivers hats.
I know.
Not.
They do. You can go to fedora.com.
Is there for real fedora.com? Nice.
Fedora.com. And then there's something called classichats.com.
Was it Harry the Hatter that used to be downtown?
It was Harry, Henry, and Lewis.
Okay.
Now all that's left is Henry the Hatter.
Henry the Hatter.
So I got mine local. I went to Henry the Hatter.
Yes, sir.
To get mine because I wanted to help the local economy. So I didn't go to fedora.com.
Go to Fedora. That's awesome. And whoever bought fedora.com, you are a very smart person. Like just stealing a whole article of clothing and owning the .com for it. Be like pants.com. So good job to you guys. And Terry, as always, thank you for coming on, sharing your insight with us. Can't wait to hear what you got to say to Corey after the show because, like you said, he's been picking your brain, getting so much knowledge out of you to become just a better man and a better reporter in the Detroit sporting world. So we appreciate all your coaching and insight around here, too.
Well, he's going to be a force.
That's right.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, our boy Corey, baby. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Joey will be back up here. We're going to talk about my experience calling a game last night, my first color commentary on a basketball game, which was a lot of fun. And we'll discuss that next, right after this 15-second break on the Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Morning, Art. Morning, D-Mac.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody who has downloaded our new app that is available right now in the App Store. You can go there and just search WSN, Woodward Sports Network, live with an exclamation point. And you can download our app and make sure you give us a 5-star rating so it looks better on Apple. And we appreciate everybody who downloaded it yesterday. Our numbers were a lot bigger than we thought they were going to be. So that's always a good thing. And we want to follow it up with another strong day today. So thank you guys for all your support, everybody who's been watching us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and of course, Instagram. We appreciate you. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch and TikTok as well. So many social medias, but everybody's got them all. So might as well. And yeah, we're all on Clubhouse now too. So follow me. I'm Sam on Clubhouse. Sam Day. That's my real name. Clubhouse makes you use your real name. So that's what I did. And last night, I got to do something that was pretty fun. As you know, Joey, one of my dreams has always been to be a color commentator for sports, period, right? I was able to do the Detroit Loyola New Lothrop football playoff game about a month and a half ago, and that was my first crack at it. And just like we talked, like the first time you ever got on the radio and talked on a mic, it like bites you, and it's something that you just kind of fall in love with. It's something I'm kind of falling in love with.
Especially when you get to do it for your old high school.
Yeah, and not only that, like they're the #1 team in the state, so you're doing it for a good quality product too. And yes, it helps that it's St. Mary's, but New Lothrop and Loyola, I have no connections to them, and I still had a great time doing it. But yeah, it's a special treat when St. Mary's is playing the #2 team in the state, Grand Blanc, and you have two Mr. Basketballs potentially going at it. And Ty, I believe his name was Ty Johnson last night for Grand Blanc. He's got offers to Michigan, Michigan State, all the Big Ten. He's related to Jason Richardson. He was just a phenomenal athlete. And then for Orchard Lake St. Mary's, we have a kid named Julian Roper, who should be the #1 spot for Mr. Basketball after last night. He had 2 dunks, one of them over the other Mr. Basketball candidate, and it was a hell of a dunk. Adam, do you want to play both those dunks real quick? I mean, it's crazy that these are high school kids. Like, you don't see this athleticism at some colleges, and these kids were going nuts last night. So, Joey, I mean, we love
beast mode.
Yeah, we love high school sports, right?
Especially Julian Roper, because how tall is he?
He's like 6'5", maybe. He's going to Northwestern.
Oh, he's that tall?
Yeah, he's a tall kid, man.
I didn't know he was that tall.
Oh, yeah, there were some big kids on the court last night. But we love high school sports. One of the things we wanted to do while we were here at the Woodward Sports Network is, bring about more broadcasts and more attention to high school sports, because we know how much that meant to us while we were playing, right?
Especially this season, because just all right, we're playing, all right, we're not playing, all right, we're playing, and we're not playing. There's just been so much back and forth that it's just messed with these kids, and now that they need all the support, as you can see, Julian Roper and them balling out yesterday.
Yeah.
But actually, so now that you're going ahead and you went ahead and getting your crack in and your experience and color commentary, what is the one game that you would love to call? You're like on any level.
Ooh. I mean, a Super Bowl would be amazing to call, but really at this point, a Final Four would, like any championship game or any Game 7 would be a lot of fun to call. And really, like, dude, I'm doing high school football and I'm having fun doing it. So at this point, anything would be fun to call.
So high school, so you will be so in that case, you would be thrilled to call a high school championship next.
Yeah. Like I'm at the bottom right now, and I just want to climb the ladder. The guy that asked me to do it, his name's Chad Bush. He used to do games at Eastern Michigan University, and he's great on the play-by-play, and it makes it real easy for me. Matt Derry sometimes does the color for him, and I've just been lucky enough to been asked to do it a couple times, but it's so much fun, man. You just watch the game and give your input. And last night, I leave that game and I go home and watch the Pistons, and now I'm starting to listen to Greg Kelser a little more to see how he interjects, because basketball color commentary completely different than football color commentary.
There's so much.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Like, if you ever, like, now that you're doing it, you go back and you start paying attention to the games differently. Because when I was doing videography more heavily, I couldn't even watch movies the same way. I was always watching, like, instead of just watching and then paying attention to the plot, well, why did he make that cut? Why did they fade in that way? So, like, are you doing that? Like, why is he interjecting right then, or how are they keeping the conversation going?
Yeah, and just looking at, how their team's pressing, how they're forcing them into a half-court offense, how they're forcing a guy to go left, just picking up those little nuances while you're watching the game. Like last night, one of the things that the coach told us was they were going to run their big man. So, like they used to do to Shaq. You had Ben Wallace sprint all the way down the court, so Shaq had to sprint all the way down. By the fourth quarter, he's worn down, and you could see all of that stuff playing out last night. And like I said to Terry, like, I watch games. I don't want to be bothered. I want to see the science behind the sport, and that's the thing I love breaking down. So this is just kind of suited what I like to do in sports, anyways. I've just never had the opportunity till now.
I know with with like the professional sports and some of the college sports, they'll speak with the coaches before the game. Are you guys doing the same thing?
Yeah,
He's saying,
yeah.
okay,
Speaking
cool.
of the coaches,
just,
getting the insight,
right.
what players you're trying to lock down, what player on their team that you're worried about. You know, like last night, Grand Blanc runs a very up-tempo offense, so I asked their coach, I asked the St. Mary's coach, are they going to try to match them with up-tempo? Are they going to try to play ball control and slow them down? He was like, no, we're going to run with them. We're going to run. And to me, that got me excited because,
Right.
you know, that's the type of basketball I want to see anyways.
That's cool. I didn't know with color commentating you get to do the interviews and all that too.
You can do everything,
So
man.
You control the whole show.
I'm like a mini Tony Romo.
That's awesome.
No, you're better than Tony Romo because sometimes Tony, as great as Tony Romo is, sometimes he'll just get too excited to the point where you don't even know if he's saying real words.
Right. Yeah, he does he's like a puppy sometimes. But those rewarding moments when you're like, oh, man, this guy needs to take over right now, and on the very next play, he drains a three or makes a big play. I hit on like 3 of them last night, and you're just like, yeah, I was watching. Yeah, I know what's about to come. But, Joey, we need you to do sideline reporting.
Yeah, I would love to.
That's where you would be great.
I would love to. That'd be so fun. If I could do it at any game, though, I'm doing Sierra Canyon versus Ipsy Prep Academy, Brownie versus Amani Bates. That'd be so sweet.
When is that matchup?
They've already played before.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, that would be freaking sweet.
Well, Saturday, St. Mary's is playing UAD. UAD was ranked 4th in the state. And obviously, after Grand Blanc, number 2 in the state, just got knocked off, they're going to be at least 3 or number 2 because UAD smoked Brother Rice this week by like 30 points, man. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, basketball team is not good right now.
And they should be. They got 2 sophomores that like should have blossomed. Remember last year
Yeah.
when we went to the St. Mary's Brother Rice games? Those kids were big. They were knocking down threes. You could just tell that they were very young. You
It's just a
expected them to
horrible
grow.
basketball program. It has been for so many years, and I don't know. Maybe they've made some changes, but it's just, I mean, this is something that I was never proud of. Being at Brother Rice was their basketball program, but
You got B.J. Armstrong, baby.
Yeah, how many years ago?
You got B.J. Armstrong.
How
What
many
do you
years
want?
ago?
That's all right.
Man, Brother Rice is straight up a football school. Everybody knows that.
Yep. And St. Mary's,
Coach
little mix of both, you know, football and basketball. And then we got a good baseball team, too. But overall, it was just a great, fun experience. I'm looking forward to doing it again on Saturday. And, yeah, Joey, if you want to come along, too, because I know you like high school basketball, number 1 versus the number 3 or 2 team in the state. It's going to be fun. And that's all I care about is just watching good sports. It was really great to watch live sports again in person.
I saw some fans, too, on the side.
The parents. They allow parents.
Oh, okay.
And it was crazy because, like, during the JV game, all the JV parents are there. And then right after the game, they go over to the announcer like, attention, all JV parents. Now that the game is over, you must exit the entire building. Like, they're not even allowed to stay in the building.
I mean, listen, if that's what it takes for this to continue and the parents to be able there to see their babies play, then so be it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, side note, don't you think that – I think that when everything kind of gets back to normal, I think from any level of sports, when everybody's able to be in full capacity, all of those games you're not going to be able to get in, no regardless if the school is terrible or not. I just have a feeling that it's about to be sellouts all over the world.
Yeah,
at least for a year.
I feel like it's going to be such a weird like integration back to normal life. Like everybody's just they're gonna kind of like creep out of their basement, and all of a sudden clubs are going to be full, sporting events are going to be full. But I think it will take some time because at least half of society still wants to stay indoors.
Oh, it's not going to take no time for no clubs in Detroit. Like, when they had that little break last year, man, those rooftop parties were like packed.
Yeah, I love Detroit in the summertime, baby.
Especially like you look at restaurants right now and you see how busy they are on a weekend. It's impossible, probably months out right now, to get a reservation.
Unless it's at the Rusty Bucket.
That literally is the one.
You know what? The Rusty Bucket actually ended up getting full that day because I just happened to just look, just like, let me just see, because we talked about, let me just see if the Rusty Bucket was open. All the Rusty Bucket appointments went, but B-Dubs was still open.
There you go.
Yeah, see, listen, B-Dubs definitely deserves to have some availabilities at all times of the day.
If you got a girl that's willing to go on Valentine's Day to B-Dubs, you keep that girl. You keep that girl, because that is not the place you take a girl on Valentine's Day.
That's not the day you take a girl anywhere. Because I'm gonna leave them alone.
Yeah,
I'm leaving them alone.
Don't talk yourself into a corner.
Honestly, keep going, keep going, Corey.
Let's take a quick break. It is 9:50, so when we come back, Fish's facts. I see him over there diligently writing down his notes. He's gonna come on stage, deliver you awesome facts and a couple bets, which are pretty good. So we'll be right back on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys and ladies. This is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Welcome back to the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for waking up with us this morning with the Morning Woodward Show. We're on every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And thank you to everybody who has downloaded our new app that is available right now in your app store. You can go to woodwardsports.com and click on the link and download it, or just go to the app store and search WSN Live. We want to get a lot more downloads today. It's so awesome to know that, on YouTube we got, 100 people watching. On Facebook we got a bunch of people watching. On Twitter we got all together. This is starting to really, really grow. And with the app out there now and the hundreds of people who downloaded it yesterday.
I heard we got thousands, actually.
No.
Adam was telling me we hit over 1,000.
Really?
Yep.
I love that.
Day one on the app, over 1,000 people. So that's amazing. And, unfortunately, we don't get the live statistics on that right now. But if there's 1,000 people listening right now, thank you so much. Fish, I got a little music to play for you, and then let's get into your facts, okay?
Is it time? Yeah, it is. Fish!
Go fish.
Fish facts. It's fish!
It's Fish. Let's go, buddy. What is your fact of the day?
All right, so the Pistons yesterday, they blew a lead.
Yes, they did.
They had a game yesterday. Yeah.
25-point blew a lead. They did have a game yesterday. I kind of wish it was postponed now.
Right.
But they blew a lead. So I went back to find how big of a lead this was and if this was the largest lead in NBA history blown. I knew it wasn't. But we're in the top 15 to 20 highest leads blown.
Oh, wow. So what was the highest lead that was ever blown?
36. It was the Jazz and Nuggets in 1996, November 27.
Wow.
70 to 36 at halftime.
Whew, and they came back and won?
And they came back and won.
That's some good coaching adjustments at halftime.
Yeah, it was not a fun Pistons game. I was not excited about that game.
Last night?
Yeah.
Yeah. It started out awesome.
Yeah, I looked up and it was 66-44. I was like, ooh, Pistons are going to win. And,
Yeah.
and then they didn't.
You know who I'm blaming this one on? I wanted to blame it on myself because at one point when we were up by like 20 is when I turned the game off.
Yeah, you never
But I'm
turned the game
blaming
off.
it on Maz because Maz
Text
texted our
us.
group chat saying, "Are you watching these Pistons? They're on fire."
Yeah. Right after that, they started to suck. But we can't go on Maz too hard. It's Maz's
Yeah, it's
birthday.
his birthday.
Happy birthday, Maz. We love you, buddy. And you have any other facts you want to get into your bets?
No, I have some more facts
All
for
right,
you.
let's rip through them, buddy.
So yesterday, sad news that Serena Williams lost.
Very sad.
So, Osaka's now the third player to win her first two Grand Slams against Serena Williams.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Then we have more. So Djokovic played this morning, and he won his match against Krejciev, the Russian. So he is now 9-0 in his win-loss record in Australian Open semifinals.
And that's your sleeper to win it all, right? That's your guy? If you had to bet?
Well, he's not a sleeper. I mean,
Okay.
he's a known guy to win. I kind of wanted Krejciev to win because
Okay.
of his story. So there's a story behind Krejciev. As you know, he was 144 ranked, and he only had one pair of shoes the whole tournament because obviously he wasn't preparing to stay long. He was preparing to lose in the first couple of rounds. So
That's
he
confidence.
had one pair of shoes. I guess he had to borrow someone's shirt because he didn't pack clothes. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting.
All right. Well,
It's a
let's
lot
get
of
into your
confidence.
bets. What do you got for bets for
All
today,
right, we have
Fish?
some good bets for you. So we are going to start with, we have some soccer today.
Okay.
We have a game in about 6 minutes. Dynamo Kiev and Club Brugge. We have plus 159 for Club Brugge and plus 179 for Dynamo Kiev. So you can win money both ways. So I like that because you can, whoever you pick, you'll win some money.
That's awesome.
Let's head down to, let's do tennis.
Okay.
So tomorrow is Tsitsipas and Medvedev. Maz is going for Tsitsipas, so we'll hope he wins.
Okay.
He is plus 181. I actually think he'll win, but it'll go 5 sets.
I like it.
So it'll still be on when I come to work tomorrow, basically.
And Fish, we can't let you go without you singing the Australian Open song. Can you give it to us one more time? I mean, we need it 3 days in a row.
You mean Champions League?
Champions League. I'm sorry.
Terry Foster's in the building, and he's actually never seen it live.
The champion.
Yeah, Fishy, we appreciate you. Thank you for coming on with Fish's Facts and Fish's Bets. Let's move over to Joey, but before we do that, I got to tell you about my friends at Levels. It's a dispensary that's going to be opening up, a provisioning center that's going to be opening up in Ferndale in a month or so. And if we're talking the high end and where you want to go to get all of your smoke needs, all of your dabs, all of your tinctures, all of that good stuff, it's the highest quality product that you're going to find, the cleanest environment that you're going to find, and good prices. It's not like you're going there and, it's like you're buying a bottle in the club. No. You're going there, you're getting the product that you're paying for, and it's the best top shelf quality product. So Levels, I cannot wait for them to open. Make sure you go follow them at Enjoy Levels right now on Instagram. And Joey, let's do your dumbass of the day.
Man, this one was a crazy dumbass. Garrison Matthews was his name, and he was called for targeting yesterday in a basketball game.
Yeah, I saw that.
That sounds kind of crazy, doesn't it? So I need Adam to play this video right now because you see Facundo Campazzo of the of the Nuggets shooting this shot on a 3-ball. And then you just see Garrison Matthews lay him out. I don't know what happened on that play. I watched back to see, did this guy trip or not? But you got to give it up for Campazzo because he made that 3 on top of that.
Yeah, no, he hit him with the shoulder. This was a form tackle happening in a basketball game last night. I thought it was hilarious when I saw it. But have you ever been hit that hard, on a basketball court?
No, the only hit that I hate on the basketball court is when I go up for a layup and then someone takes me underneath
or pushes you from behind. That's the worst
that hurt.
too.
I do that too though on defense sometimes.
But this guy was just going all out. He ended up tackling him, and what do you get called? A flagrant foul. It was 15 yards and the ball,
literally, and the ball,
and the ball.
It was just crazy. I don't know what Garrison Matthews was thinking on that play, but he is definitely the dumbass of the day on this hit.
All right, I'm gonna hit this dumbass right now.
You dumbass.
Thank you guys for waking up with the Morning Woodward Show. Tomorrow is Friday already.
Damn.
This week has absolutely flown by. Fish, you're excited about Friday?
Yes, I am excited about Friday.
Why?
Because it's closer to the weekend.
Oh, okay. You work for the weekend, buddy?
I do, yes.
Yeah, lots of sports this weekend, too, coming up.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much. Thank you to Terry Foster for gracing us with his presence every Thursday at 9 a.m. And you can also hear Terry on the Woodward Sports Network, filling in for Joik Bell Mondays on the Baligian and Bell Show. So we're very happy to have Terry be part of this network. And, just thank you very much, Terry, for coming through. Joey, have a great Thursday. Adam, Art, Corey, Fish, we are out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ben's Origins drops his new podcast today. It comes out literally in 2 minutes. If you want to go to our Spotify or Apple Podcast, just search Woodward Sports Network, and you can hear Ben's new podcast, Origins, coming out at 10 a.m. this morning. Thank you guys so much for waking up with the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you for downloading our app and just being a part of this process. We love you.